I'll call her before y'all leave. I'll try to. All right. Okay, here's the question. The first question.
Will you turn it on so we can see it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn it on and give it to Vanna.
I don't know how.
First question. I'm just going to go down. I don't know if we have any else. I know this one's from y'all. I don't see any others. Maybe this one. No, that's 102. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All right. So let's do 4.3 first, or 3.7 first. 3.74110. 3.74110.
Like I said, I'm an idiot.
Yep, it says it right here. This student is an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, use the point slope equation. Now the answer I should get back is, I'm sorry, 2. That's the answer I should get back. But what if I don't get that?
You won't.
You might.
It depends on what you. From what you told me about her, I don't think you will. 70% of the time you won't.
I think she's going to say, well, you shouldn't have done this and you shouldn't have done that. And then I'm going to hang up again.
Yeah, she might be like that.
Huh? So if she goes, she starts another one, I should just sit there and take it.
Do you really want to flirt with her all the time?
Huh?
You want to flirt with her all the time?
Well, not like this, no.
Oh, yeah, that's your call.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, you're not comfortable because most times you're not going to take it or you're
Break
going
down.
to be like,
I'm not going to take it. I've took that for 22 years. I'm not going to take that.
okay, then that's her. Yeah. Tell her that. I ain't going to take it. You don't want to
I ain't going to take it.
take it. No. Oh, Lord.
That's why men should not get married till they're 35.
How old are you?
I'm 48. I shouldn't have got married when I was 30. I shouldn't have got married when I got married.
And how old is she?
No, she's 5 years younger than I am. Where is my? Did you bring it down all the way down?
Yeah.
Where is it? All right. So y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. Y minus parentheses equals parentheses times x minus parentheses. This is x sub 1, y sub 1. So y sub 1 is 2, negative 8, and negative 6/7. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 6/7 times x plus 8. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 6/7 x plus negative or minus 56/7. Well, 6 times 8 is 48. Negative 48/7. And this comes over as 14/7. So y is equal to negative 6/7 x. And negative 48 plus 14 is 34.
But 7 times 8 is 56.
I thought 6 times 8 was 48.
Well, why did you do the 6? That's where I'm lost at right there, that step. Okay,
six
and then you
times
just-
eight is
okay.
48, and 7 times 1 is
I was
6.
trying to figure out if I was finding the common factor.
No,
just
it's
straight
multiplying.
or
This is
what? That's where I
multiplying.
was
Distributive
lost
law is multiplying, factoring is,
at. I told you I was an idiot.
distributive law is multiplication.
6, 7.
And factoring is what? Factor out the common term is division.
Okay. Like I said, I just confused.
And these are opposites of each other. Distributive law is the opposite of factoring. Factoring is the opposite of distributive law. So I get y is equal to negative, what did I say, negative 34 sevenths? Y'all check my math.
All right. Oh, Lord.
Did you hear what happened to Donda's yesterday?
I saw the sign caught on fire or something.
Yeah. At first I realized the guy got electrocuted.
The box that the guy was in started to catch on fire, and I saw the guy on top of the sign.
Because the bucket caught on fire.
So what happened to the guy?
His shoes got burnt and the hair on his leg got burnt. That's it.
And the heroin got burnt.
The hair on his legs got burnt.
Are you thinking about hair?
No, it just sounded like she said and the heroin got burnt. And there's the question, so I got it right.
Thank you. I was overthinking it. Being an idiot.
No, just
Okay, so, for the test on this one, the answer that it wanted for you to give was like before you solved the thing.
Just like
Y minus 2 equals negative 6/7.
Yeah,
this is the answer. What are y'all talking about?
I passed that up yesterday. For the thing, it says find the equation in point slope form.
Okay, that's a different question.
How?
The question, it says the equation of the line. This says leave it in point slope equation. It says point slope form.
Oh.
That's
So
a different
just
question.
don't answer it, just
No,
put it in the thing?
if it says point slope form, then it would be right here. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 6/7 x plus 8. That would be point slope form. I don't like those questions. I like these questions. So if I put one on a test, I'd like for it to be like this.
you did.
Okay, I didn't. That's, okay, well, that's not my fault because it regenerates. I usually put these and they regenerate into that and can't stop that. Okay, well, we'll do one like that. Tell you what, let me pull it up. Okay, so you don't need to go over it?
No.
Okay. All right, other question. I think there was one on 7. Miss Young sent it in. 7.3, 7/1. 7.3, 7/1. Okay, it says graph. Do you have to use a certain method? No, because it just says graph. So I would use method 1 or method 3. Why? Because y is what? Y is by itself. So look on your sheets. When y is by itself, you use method 1 or method 3. I'll do both. Method 1, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. 90% of the time I use those. The other 10% of the time I use multiples as a denominator. There is no fraction here, so I'm going to use those. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. 1 times 4 is negative 4 plus 6 is what? 2. 0 plus 6 is, so it looks like we're adding what each time? Negative 2 to 2 is 4. 2 to 6 is 4. So what's the next one? 10 and let's check the last one. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 16 is 8 plus 6 is
14.
so that how you do that. Now you could plot any two of these points because it's going to be looking for 2 points. So you can pick any one of these. Or you can use method 3, which is, what is the y-intercept? 0, 6. That's the y-intercept. What's the direction of the slope? Positive or negative? So that means it's left to right up. And then 4 over 1. Okay, so you did this one, so that's what we'll use. So we go right here and hit the line, and then we plot 0 and 6. Oops. 0 and 6. There's 5 and 6. So there's 1 point. And then I'm going to go, I can go down 4 and over 1. I usually go the opposite of what everybody thinks because they think they have to go a certain way. So there's my starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which way? Do I go left or right?
Right.
Left, because I got to go left to right up. You got to think of your car. You need a positive slope, so your car is going to have to go uphill. If you went over this way, the car would be going what? Down here. How? If you read from left to right.
Well, I'm reading right to left.
Oh, you are? Okay, my salama to you.
Yeah.
Are you being me?
Apparently. I thought
It's real easy to remember, y'all. We read from left to what?
Right to right.
Right.
Apparently.
So either your line is going to go this way, or it's going to go this way.
That's a pretty little story. I used to have a hardest time reading that.
What? Reading what?
No lines, just like, because I would always have been that close.
Right to left.
Like, my teachers got.
Why do y'all do that?
I don't know.
It's not just you. Students, this is what students do when they do these numbers right here. They go 5, -2, 1, 6, -3. How do you expect your brain to work correctly when you're doing this kind of stuff? 1, there is no what? There is no pattern. 2, there is no consistency. 3, you're not even reading left to right. You're reading all over the place.
Did they go to first one?
So this is just in general. Students. It doesn't matter where they're from.
Yeah, my teacher got so mad because I wasn't reading right. I was like, but you can go that way and it's still be going to the positive side. And we got to do it like whatever.
For 18 years, you've been taught to read which way?
Right, left.
My salama to you.
That's the right.
So why would you change now?
I don't know. I did change.
And it doesn't do the brain very well to be trained 18 years one way and to start doing another way at the 19th year. Doesn't make sense.
I'm a bit dyslexic anyway.
I know. Just ditch, box.
No.
Yeah, I think you're ready. I think you're ready for the box. All right, I think that was all my questions from this class.
You'll get more.
Doesn't matter because we're going to keep on doing complete and square. So,
I'm trying to get more.
all right, let's move on because I want to do some. The problem we did yesterday, we come out with a negative. We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's the one I want to start with. So, go to our handy dandy whiteboard. Give me the problem before we got to the negative. What did it say? Or give me the original problem first.
X squared plus 2x plus 15.
Plus 15 is equal to 0. We did all our stuff and got down to what?
X plus 1
Quantity squared
equals negative 14.
equals -14. Okay? So we did all our stuff and we got down to this point. I believe there was a, yeah. We got there. And then I told you to take the square root of both sides, and that's when we run into a problem.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, remember when I told y'all, I'm going to go to the next page. You can write this on the side of the page or whatever. I told y'all that this is a radical, this is an index, And it's usually, if nothing's there, it's assumed that there's what? 2. And this guy is called the radicand. Now, in this chapter, in the complete and square chapter, it's also called the discriminant. And the discriminant tells you about the X-intercepts. Okay? The discriminant is usually when you have, a positive, a negative, or 0. If the discriminant is positive, you're going to have 2 X-intercepts. Or 2 solutions. You have to put solutions because the book will say solutions. But in my class, I say 2 X-intercepts. That means that the parabola is going to cross the what? The x-axis. It may look like that. It may look like that. It may look like this. But the whole point is you have how many intercepts? 2. And when your discriminant is positive, that means you have 2 x-intercepts. Now, when do you know when it's negative? When you apply the radical. Let me show you an example, and you don't have to write this down. I just want you to see it. Let's say you're working a problem and you get to this. Does that have x-intercepts? You got a 50-50 shot, yes or no? Yes, it does. Why? Because my next step before I apply the radical is to divide by what? And we had one of these, I think, yesterday. And we get x plus 4 quantity squared is equal to what?
3.
Now, do we have x-intercepts?
Yes.
Yes, because that's a positive. You have to be careful. You can't just say, oh, we don't have any x-intercepts. This is when you see if you have x-intercepts. When you apply the what? You apply the radical. When you apply the radical, that means you can't apply the radical if you have a 2 out front. Okay? So you got to watch for these. You don't have to write that down, but All right, so that's one possibility. I'll tell you what. Let's take this. Okay? And what's the other possibility of the discriminant? Well, positive. What's another one? Negative. And that means no solution. Or in my class, no x-intercepts. So that means that the parabola is, as I call it, floating. Meaning that it's in one of the quadrants and it's not crossing the what? The x-axis. So it looks something like this. And I think I showed y'all some of these yesterday. In other words, you have a vertex and you might have a y what? Yeah, you're going to have a y-intercept. Because the y-intercept is usually what? In the original problem. So you're going to have a y-intercept and you're going to have a what? A vertex. But you're not going to have what? You're not going to have x-intercepts. Okay, what's the other possibility? 0. Now, how can you have one x-intercept on a parabola? Well, it's sitting on the x-axis. Now, if you're not from around here, it'd be sitting. Okay?
Oh.
But it's sitting. Sitting is a little bit different than sitting, isn't it? Sitting, you're just sitting doing nothing. Okay? So it looks like this. Or you can have it going the opposite way. 90% of the time, what? You're going to have x-intercepts. Only 10, 20% of the time, you're going to have some of these. Capiche? All right, so now let's keep on going with the problem we were doing. Well, Hubert, what do you do if you have a negative in the radical? Well, you say negative in the radical, put x to it, and say, therefore, no x-intercepts. Because there may be some teacher in the future, or some test, or some standardized test that may ask you in reference to the intercepts, what's going on in this problem? And they may give you this and say, what's going on with this problem? And you say, and the answers are no solution, all real numbers, or blah, blah, blah. Or you might say y-intercept is equal to 2, or you don't know that. X-intercept is equal to none, or something like that. And you click that one, or you click no solution. But they may ask you to write it and solve for x. And you will have to use I, which we talked about the day before yesterday. So, I'm going to take this, and we're going to move this up here, because we know it doesn't have x-intercept. We know the y-intercept is 0, 15. Inner is equal to 0, 15. So now we just have to write the x-intercepts in terms of I, and the vertex is what? Negative 1 and what? 14. That's our vertex. So now I just have to solve for x and write it in terms of I. So let's take this guy. All right, let's just do it here. Square root, and it gives us x plus 1 is equal to the square root of negative 14. And you know here, you know from what we talked about, that you can't take the square root of a negative. Well, in mathematics, they want you to keep going and write it in lowest terms. So that means you're going to have to use I. And I is equal to the square root of negative 1, and I squared is equal to negative 1. So you need to remember that, because this is what you really need to remember, because you're going to change that negative 14 into negative 1 and what? Positive 14. So x plus 1 is equal to the square root of negative 1, square root of 14. And then what's the square root of negative 1? I. So x plus 1 is equal to I times the square root of 14. Well, the square root of 16 is 4. So I'd say the square root of 14 is probably 3.8. I was calculating. Somebody, what is the square root of 14, Dana? 3.74, 3.8. I'll take either one. So 3.8. And then your final answer is x is equal to negative 1 plus 3.8 I, and technically that's plus and a negative. And that's your final answer in terms of I. Now, a lot of people say, well, why did you put the I last? Well, when you're dealing with I, you want to write your answer in A plus BI form. Now, some teachers don't care, but some teachers do care. In other words, the I is last. Well, from now, I mean, we're going to be working on this today. And then tomorrow is nothing but just throw it out, complete the square, and y'all should be able to do it. And Monday. Those of you taking Math 110, you're going to be very happy next semester when half the class is lost and half the class is going, oh, I know how to do this. There are some people that's going to be in Math 110 next semester that have never heard of completing the square, which is ridiculous, but it happens. Okay, so what does it look like? Well, you really don't have an X-intercept to go by, so it's a floater. So 0 and 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, there's 15. And then negative 1 and 14 is your vertex. The negative 1 and 14 is right here. Looks like. And you can do your domain and range and all that good stuff after you plot. And you feel good about yourself.
All right.
All right, what? All right, what?
I thought she was like ready to go.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's do one. Let's do a nerd. All right, I'll make it easy for you. X squared minus 4x plus 15 is equal to 0. All right, go to work. I know, that's why I get that a lot.
Yeah.
What?
That sounds like rain.
It sounds like rain.
I wish it was. I love the rain.
I have to go home and give all the kids at my hospital.
In fact, on my meditation app, I have rain. Miss Turner, I thought you were my buddy.
I do.
You just gave me the wrong advice.
We can just give you the advice. It's up to you.
Just give me the advice I want to hear. How about that?
Don't send her no message. Don't call her. Wait for her to call you.
Yeah.
There you go.
For a very
She'll
long
be
time.
over.
Be
She'll
by
go
yourself.
home again.
Yep.
She likes to lie to me.
What's your suggestion?
Mine?
Yeah, you hadn't said anything.
I think she's crazy, but if you want to be with her, then you should make the first move. She's not confident. She's going to be hard-headed.
And she's very hard-headed.
Yeah, she's going to be hard-headed. She ain't going to text you or call you. You're going to have to call her.
She has in the past, though. She has when but evidently she don't think she was wrong.
Probably not. Most women don't think they're wrong. Yeah, she wants to.
Okay, I was just making sure I was
Where's
right.
you think that she wants to like test the waters, make sure you're pursuing her
Mm.
right. She wants to see how much you're willing to go. Yeah, maybe that's kind of like
Well, right now, I'm not too.
test.
Right now, I'm not too testable. I should just quit. That's what I should do. Huh? What?
I was asking you the first one.
Where's the tattoo? Oh, I didn't see it. No.
just wish when I take notes that I would quit doing stuff in my head and not writing everything down. Then I'm lost.
When in doubt, quit.
No. So negative positive. Yeah.
Making sure I do that math right.
I could just give y'all all easy questions.
Yeah,
And then when y'all get
so
slaughtered
year.
next semester, y'all can just blame me.
Okay.
Our teacher didn't teach us right.
I'll be
Well,
in
we'll
your
be in your
class.
class so we can badmouth each of your students
Yeah.
in front of you. So we won't be talking about.
Why is, okay, somebody tell me what this is for.
I was.
We were
wondering
talking to
too.
you.
Yeah, I squirreled too back to this.
Cafe Express.
Why are they going to the schools and doing cafe trucks?
I don't know, but I feel like, Michelle Obama would not approve.
I don't care what Michelle Obama
No-
says.
no
She can
comment.
stay home and die for
Have y'all ever noticed that 2016 is never going to get here?
Yes.
Have y'all noticed that?
Yes.
It's never going to get here. It seems like it's going to be like 5 years before 2016 gets here.
It is taking a while, ain't it?
I just
But
think
it
we
is
just
June,
all should
so-
quit. We should
Hey,
just all
It
quit.
is June. It is June.
I quit. I don't know what to do any further.
Okay, y'all want to do the first two steps?
I got the first two. I'm on the third
Oh,
one.
when did that become a negative for y'all? Mine was a plus four.
Mine was a negative.
Mine was plus.
Half of 4 is,
2,
2 squared is,
4.
Oh. Oh, no.
x minus 2 quantity squared is equal to negative 11.
Yes.
And at this point, we know our y-intercept is 0, 14, 0, 15.
0, 15. So that's your y.
0, 15. We know our vertex is 2 and 11. And that's all we're going to have because we know we don't have what? We don't have X-intercepts.
X.
And we can put that right here, no X-intercepts. So we keep on going. And the reason we keep on going is because
We got to do
some
more, I
teachers
think.
want, or some tests, or some standardized tests, want you to write it in terms of I.
Oh.
So x minus 2 is equal to I times the square root of 11. That should be 3.2. So x minus 2 is equal to positive or negative 3.2i. What is the square root of 11? Somebody check it. 3.3. Okay. And x is equal to positive or negative, I'm sorry, 2 positive or negative 3.3i.
Crap. I got that all right until I forgot to do the add
You forgot to do the what?
the add plus.
Yeah, just get in the habit of doing that. So this one looks 0.15 and 2.11, 2.11, something like that. Now, how can you use this in your homework? Well, let's go to your homework. What chapter is this?
10. Rational exponents and radicals, is that what we're doing?
No.
Completing the square.
Completing the square, is it in chapter 10?
Hold on,
I think it's 11
Is it?
completing the square.
something. It's not square.
I don't see it anywhere.
It's not.
It's not like written on
Okay, you can use any quadratic. So let me just go to, yeah.
Yeah. You making fun of me? Please.
No.
All right, you done sneezed twice. You don't need to sneeze anymore. Quadratic equations, yeah, these should be in here. Let me look in chapter 11. It should be in there. It's probably in there. They just don't have. Okay, I'll just pick one out of chapter 10 or 11. It doesn't matter. Let me look in 10 and see where the best ones are. Where's my... There it is. Chapter 10. Radical expression, solving radical. No, that's radicals. Okay, it's chapter 11. Let's just go here. Chapter 11. And study plan. I have no idea what these are going to ask. What are y'all laughing about?
Because it's too quiet in here. Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah, I don't think y'all going. These you can actually solve without completing the square. Bring the 5 over, divide by 2, and take the square root. All right, so these are not the ones I'm talking about. The ones that I'm talking about will be a trinomial.
I like the...
I know what y'all like. Y'all like the easy things.
Yeah, but it doesn't make me think, so...
Yeah. All right, here you go. Here's one. Take off. What are they asking for?
Solution.
Which is, what does that mean?
X.
X-intercepts. So all they want is the X-intercepts, but I want you to draw it. So that means you got to do everything. And that is good practice. If you see a quadratic on your homework, or you see a quadratic on your test, well, not the test because that'll take time, do everything. And that way you won't shut down when you get to Math 110. So find the X-intercepts.
See, it tells me about the I thing,
Okay. No, this one won't have I
I know it won't,
because...
but I'm just saying. You said you didn't know if it was...
Just do the problem.
Take your aggression out on me.
I'm just in a bitchy mood. I'm sorry.
It's okay, I can handle it. I live in a house full of bulls.
I still think a text would be better.
No, that's impersonal.
No, because you know what? You have
I'm sorry for the miscommunication.
no. She's gonna.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
She might take it as you being a smart ass.
yeah. She really would. Cause
Yeah.
it's like
No, really, I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. If you texted somebody and was like, "Oh, sorry for this,"
Yeah,
be like that.
She might be thinking you're trying to like today because y'all haven't communicated and you being smart about
Yeah, you're just being a smart ass.
Y'all are
He's like,
freaking
mine
weird.
won't.
Y'all are weird.
Women are very complicated. I hate to break it to you, but you know.
We thought you figured that out.
Yeah, I thought you knew that one. Sugar. Like I said.
Honey,
like
honey.
You should just call it. Unless you really
Don't
want
be
to call
singing
it.
that song all day.
What?
Hey, what?
You know we're looking at your conversation, right? Yeah. What? That's what. What's your first name?
Vanessa.
That's okay. That's what I thought. I know you're laughing.
What is like?
What do you mean? Unit 5?
Yeah.
I don't know because there's nothing in there, so I guess it'll be 11.
Because we don't have to do unit 5. Or
Well, yeah, you didn't need to be worried about Unit 5 until we started working on these.
Okay.
Now, you can, right now, the only, you can do 11.1 and 11.2. 11.1 is easy, you just solve for x. You don't do anything. But you can start using completing the square in these because you have a trinomial. Actually, you could use them on the others, but you'd have to put a 0 in, and I just think it's easier just to do it.
It's due in 3-4 days.
Yeah. I gotta work.
Well,
Next 2 days.
She's got a 48-hour day. You ever met somebody like that?
I have kids 24/7.
I worked 48 hours yesterday. Yeah.
I used to do that.
There's only 24 hours in a day, but you work 48. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't know that.
I know, but you ever met somebody like that? That works 48 hours in a 24-hour day?
Now if you work 48
Yes,
hours
my
straight.
uncle. My uncle's like that all the time. If I go down, he's like,
He works all the time, just never gets off, just works 48 hours a day.
I did it to get a divorce. So I would not have to be around with him. I worked 2 jobs. And one was at a bar.
I know people like that.
hey, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I worked at Wendell's when it was
I worked at
at the
Wendell's
north end.
over here when it first
I know.
opened up. Me and
Because you wasn't there when I worked there.
I work in Joshua.
Oh, let me rephrase that.
Huh?
Wendell had the same birthday.
You worked what? At the Jockey Lot?
I didn't say that.
I did.
You worked at Wendell's when it was at the Jockey Lot?
No.
Oh, it was near the Jockey Lot. That's where,
No,
that's
I
why I was
just
like,
used to work at
there's no way.
You weren't alive when the Wendell's was at the job.
I didn't know if you liked it.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Why? Left field.
That's really awesome.
It's yellow. I like yellow.
I thought it was orange. I argued with them that it was orange. They're like, that's yellow.
Oh my, forever, heaven's sake.
Okay, Vanna, bring it down.
That's why.
Because I know some of y'all are spazzing on this. I don't know why, but
I am.
I'm not doing it.
all you gotta do is just do what you've been doing. Y'all, let's see how we can make this complicated.
It's very complicated.
3x squared minus x plus blank is equal to 10 plus blank. Now, I don't see what's hard about that.
She's like, yeah, I did it.
You have to factor out. What do you have to factor out?
3.
A 3.
Oh, so I
Now, the
forgot
x
that
squared
step too.
minus 1/3 x
Not first before that.
plus blank is equal to 10 plus 3 times blank.
Why did we?
Now, what was hard about that?
Hold up. I didn't have another one. Hold up.
I spent a whole video on that the other day.
I forgot.
Let's do one of them, won't you?
Yeah,
Probably.
y'all
Oh, I
haven't watched
remember.
any of them, I don't think.
No, I don't watch it.
Exactly.
I'm here every day, but I don't need to watch it.
Sometimes you might, rehash things,
I need to watch them all
I'll
over
just email
again,
you.
but
Rehash, you know.
Just forget, just, they ain't no need to look at them.
I need to sleep, y'all.
All right, now that we've got A is equal to 1, what do we do here? That'd be
Divide by
1/3
2.
divided by 2 over 1 and square it. That's equal to 1/3 times 1/2 and square it. And that's equal to 1 over 36.
Oh.
Well, I'll let y'all figure it
No,
out.
I got it. So I was about.
Now, 2 things that I tell y'all, I point out on this problem. In order to do this problem, 1, you have to be organized, and 2, you have to be consistent with the way you do it. If you will look back in the notes at the problem that I did when A was not equal to, I think it was a 3 or a 2, and I factored out. And if you'll look back at the notes, you'll see I did everything just like this. So that means y'all need to do it too. Make this a fraction. When you divide by 2, make this a fraction, bring it up here, and you will never have a careless mistake here unless you say 3 times 2 is 5. That's the only careless mistake you can make here. The next careless mistake is 6 squared is 12. That's the only other careless mistake you can make. But that's a careless mistake and I can't do anything about that. But the careless mistakes that are made on completing the square when A is not equal to 1 is right in here and right in here. And that's why you have to write everything out. The people that make the mistakes, they don't write everything out. They try to go from here to the next step, which would be 3 times x squared minus 1/3 x plus 1/36 equals 10 plus 3 times 1/36. They try to go from there to there in like one step. And you can't do it. Because if you could, you wouldn't be taking what? The course. You would be in calculus or something. Okay?
No, I know how to do this, and I know how to do everything that we've done, but I overthink stuff and screw my whole self up.
Yeah, you just got to settle down.
Yeah.
And it takes confidence. And confidence comes after you have done all the homework and after you've done 15,000 of these problems. I mean, I'm being facetious, but it's just like playing a musical instrument. People don't play musical instruments because they're scared or they don't practice enough.
Do you play the guitar?
How'd you know that?
Do you like someone play the guitar or the banjo?
No, I play at the guitar. I have an acoustic guitar and I like to fiddle around with it, but I don't play like regular guitar players. I just pick at it. Teach myself. All right. All right, so now this is shortcut number 2. So that's going to be 3 times x minus 1/6 quantity squared is equal to, this goes out and makes that a what? 12. And this would be 120 over 12.
I hate the fraction multiple.
3 times, we'll get used to it. It's going to be all over the test.
Why would you do that?
So therefore, when you get through with it, you're not going to hate it. The only reason you hate it is because you're not comfortable with it.
Well, I'm not comfortable with it
Because you hadn't done it.
No, we just spent forever learning how to do something different with multiplying and adding fractions, and then you go to the next one and it's something different.
What if we've done something totally different?
In my head.
Okay, in your head. Okay, in a female head. Yeah, okay. I can understand that.
I know.
I resent that comment.
You don't finish the problem?
No. Y'all made me mad.
Hey, I didn't do it.
All right. Divide by 3. Divide by 3 over 1. Again, bring that organization in because this is where you get a little bit crazy. So instead of saying 121 over 12 divided by 3 and going, oh God, do that. Do it by 3 over 1 and multiply by 1 over 3. And therefore it'll go consistently instead of, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And that's x minus 1/6 quantity squared is equal to, well, I don't think, nope, 121 over 36. And that's okay because 36 is a perfect what? And that'll make everything nice. And so is 121. It's 11.
Yeah.
So now you can finish it. Finish it and we'll go to the next page and finish it. So let me copy this.
It's a big box.
Yeah, it's a big box.
No, forget it. I'll just rewrite it on the next page. I'm not going to go through all that. Okay, so what do we have? X what? What do we have? That last, I told y'all to write it down. X what? Minus 1/6, quantity squared,
Equals 121.
121 over 36. And now we know the vertex. Vertex is 1/6, comma, 121, negative 121 over 36. And that's about 4, because 4 times 30 is 120. So that's about a negative 4. So take the square root of both sides. X minus 1/6 is equal to positive or negative 11 over 6. X is equal to positive or negative 11 plus 1 over 6. I don't know if y'all can handle this or not. But 11 plus 1 divided by 6, negative 11 plus 1, negative 10. Negative 10 over 6 is negative 5/3. Now draw everything.
So.
The vertex, somebody take 121 divided by 36. What do you get?
3.36.
Something's
wait,
wrong.
no. That wasn't
Something's
negative.
wrong.
Negative, yeah, 3.3.
No, it can't be right.
Why?
Because if you did negative or 1/6 and negative 3, 1/6 and negative 3 would be right here, it'd be up and downward. But you got X-intercepts, there's something wrong. And that's what I was telling you. When you do one of these and you don't, the points don't line up, then chances are something's what? Wrong. So let me go ahead and finish drawing it, and maybe we can find out what's wrong. 2 and negative 5/3 is negative, well, negative 2 basically. So it looks like to me, let's see, this is our vertex. What is that? That's our vertex. Looks like to me, no, we know this is not wrong, because what's the y-intercept is negative 10, so we know it's not wrong. So that means I think our vertex is what? I think our vertex is wrong. Let's go back and look. So let's look. First thing we do is bring the 10 over, add a blank, and then take 1/3 divided by 2. 1/3 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6, and that's 136. So I add 136 here and add a 36 there. Okay, I'm going to graph it right quick and see where my error is, because I don't see it mathematically. So that's where you pull out your handy dandy calculator and make sure that our vertex is wrong, because it looks like to me that our vertex is wrong. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. So pull up our handy dandy. And what is the equation?
3x squared.
3x squared.
Minus
Huh?
x.
Minus x
Minus 10.
minus 10. Yeah, our vertex should be right down here. That's it. Let's see what the X-intercepts are, and let's see if we got our X-intercepts right. So zoom in our box. I just want to see what they are. My crosshair. There it is. Alright, left bound right there, right bound is right there. Negative 1.6. What did I get? Let me look and see. Alright, somebody take 5 and divide it by 3. What do you get? All right, got that right. Let me look at the, well, that one's 2. So I got my X-intercepts right. Okay, well then, okay, zoom 6. Let me go to zoom 6. And let's go down, second function, trace. And let's go for the minimum. And left bound. Right bound, and yes, vertex is 1.16. What's our vertex? 1.6. I got that right. And see, that's wrong. Negative 10.08. I'm wrong. So that means I've got something wrong here. So let me redo it. That's the best way I know to figure it out, because I can't look at my writing and find the error unless y'all find it. I can't do that. So
the vertex is showing is the 121 over 12, not the 121 over 26.
then that would be the answer. Then that would make sense. Now let me go back and find it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Were you paying attention or what?
I wrote that on my paper.
Oh, be quiet, Dana. Don't speak after the fact.
I'm serious. I have it.
Well,
down.
why didn't you say something?
Because I didn't understand why you put n times 12 and 3 in that box six. You need to find the denominator.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. What's 3 over
No,
1?
not that. Over on the right side.
Where? Right here. That is it. 3 times 12 is
Well, you're supposed to do
36.
like 120 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Yeah. And then so then it would
Down
be
on the very
120.
bottom.
Yeah.
I did that.
One,
121 over 12.
yeah, and that should be your,
Now, why
should
did
be
you
the
get that
answer.
Because you have to divide it by 3 right here. You have to divide it by 3 to get it in the form
This is up there.
right here.
Oh,
Divide by 3, divide by 3, multiply by 1/3. Evidently,
So should it be 125 over 12?
no. 121 times 1 is 121. 12 times 3 is 36. I think what I'm missing, I think right here, I think, I may be wrong, but I think this is where you do take the vertex. Okay, yeah, it is. I'll tell you why. 3 times x minus 1/6 quantity squared is equal to 121 over 12. 121 over 12, because this is vertex form. All right, this is where you go. F of x is equal to, because you can't. If I was to take the 3 out and then say it's vertex form, that would not match up with the original what? The problem. You got to keep that 3 in there. That's why I messed up. So I just had a brain bubble, I'm sorry. At this point right here, you write it in this term because the 3 is still there. So that'd be 3 times x minus 1/6 quantity squared minus 121 over 12. And your vertex is, take the opposite of this, 1/6, and then this is negative 121 over 12, which is negative 10. There's your vertex. So you have to take it while the 3 is in front, because if you take the 3 out, like I did right here, I mean, you do to solve for x. That's why our x's is correct. X's are correct. Our x's are correct because it's okay to do this. But you can't do your vertex without the 3 because that's not the original equation. I just had a brain bubble and went one step further. I'm sorry. So here, right here is where you need to find your vertex, right here. And I usually do that. I usually put 3 times this and then I draw my 2 arrows. That's why our x's are correct and our vertex is off. But the whole point is, I did all that on purpose. So when I draw it, I could show y'all that when you draw it, you can actually see if something doesn't what? I could see something didn't line up when I got to this point right here. I knew something didn't line up. And I knew that the y-intercept cannot be wrong because it's just right there. So it's foolproof. So it goes right here, and then you would draw your parabola. So this one is wrong. There we go. OSO. What's OSO?
OSO special?
Whatever. All right, let's do a nerd. What do y'all want to do? Y'all just want to eat biscuits and not do anything?
That sounds like a great idea.
All right, solve the equation. Now that means I want you to do everything.
No.
This one's easy.
No, it ain't.
Maybe it did.
On a scale from 1 to 10, on completing the square, it's a 1. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just my week for arguing. Have we done it?
I think we have them.
Okay, well then we won't do it. We'll do another one.
Oh. I was liking this one.
Me too. This is lovely.
All right, let's do a nerd.
No, I thought we were doing that one.
No, they said we've done it before.
Oh, we've done it a lot.
It changed. Okay, we'll do this one. Whoa, no, we're not going to do that one. That was Y. Let me find another one. Yeah, that takes a bit of 2 seconds.
I'm still writing.
All right, try that one. X squared plus 34 is equal to 6x. Now, of course, the first thing you got to do is what? Rewrite it. Yeah, you got to rewrite it because it's not in the right form.
Yeah, it won't get worse.
Maybe I'm just stupid. All right, Vanna, bring it down, please. Now, actually, you can leave the 34, well, you can take the 30, just switch to 34 and bring the 6x over, and you'll skip a step. So x squared minus 6x plus blank is equal to negative 34 plus blank. What's half of 6? 3 squared? Now, by this point, you should be doing that in your head. Unless it's a fraction. If it's a fraction, then you go back to the doing it, writing it out. So x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to negative 34 plus times negative 25.
23.
Okay, 23. Okay, I'm sorry I can't do calculations in my head in a second. Okay? I thought it was 25.
Sorry.
Y'all, I tell you what, I think I just need to quit. And at this point, you can do your arrows, and of course your vertex is 3, 25. And your y-intercept is 34. 0, 34. And x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to negative 25, and take the square root of both sides. X minus 3 is equal to positive or negative 5i, and x is equal to 3 plus or minus 5i. And of course we have no x-intercepts. So 0, 34 be up here. And this should be below it. 3 and 25. So it's floating up here. Now, how do they say write your answers? Express complex numbers in terms of what? I use a comma to separate the answers. There's two answers here. 3 plus 5i, comma, 3 minus 5i. 3 plus 5i, 3 minus 5i. Y'all got enough problems in this section to practice for the test. Just ignore the changing of the variables. They just do that. Just try to. Okay, there's a good one. There's a good test question. Try to get you to quit. I'm trying to get you to skip the question. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. So when you see this on the test, you'll just talk yourself into what? Skipping to the next problem. I'll do it later, and then you won't get time to do it. And then
you
Obvious, because it's the same thing. Oh, okay. Maybe.
3 girls on this side is tranquil and quiet, and 3 girls on this side is not tranquil and quiet.
Be quiet.
You don't know where I'm going.
Well, you're not as quiet as these 3 are. Miss Burdette, I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
You're so quiet.
I'm a quiet person.
Yeah, and I have blonde hair.
Sometimes I just don't talk if there's nothing to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I have a question.
I'm Hubert.
Random question. That middle number, after we get the third one, do we even have to copy it down again?
Okay, it'd be 6x squared plus 7x plus blank is equal to 20 plus blank.
Yeah, that
Right.
7x, do we have to worry about it after we get the?
Well, you're going to factor out a 6, so it becomes 7/6.
Quit. God.
Y'all know what y'all are not doing? Y'all are
doing
not looking at the problem that I did a while ago,
that. I thought that we.
where I factored out a common term.
Somebody just throw
I'm just gonna cry.
I'm right there.
There's not a common term to that.
The 6, you got to get that 6 out because you can't do completing the square with a 6 in front of the x squared. You can't do it. I watched Miss Congeniality for the first time last night.
I was just
My favorite TV show.
I liked it. What?
I think our new favorite TV show is called TV.
I don't watch TV.
I don't
I don't
think
remember.
reality.
I was up last night. And
The only reason I watch TV is there's a movie on or I watch the Andy Griffith Show, and that's it.
Quit. I officially quit. I mean, I know how they got 7/6, but I thought we did that other part first, found Z first, and then factored out the 6. That's why.
I guess not.
All right, Vanna, please.
Don't say that, because one of them does.
Yep.
I love these.
6x squared plus 7x plus blank is equal to 20
I'm just
plus
so
blank. We can't do completing the square because of that 6, so we got to factor it out. So 7 divided by 6 divided by 2 over 1 squared. 7 divided by 6 multiplied by 1/2. 7 over 12 is equal to 49 over 144. Now, when you look at this problem, can you tell me why students can't do these problems?
No, it's.
Okay.
I did that part. I just thought that you found that number first, and
I told y'all, what'd I tell you?
And
I
wrote it
said,
down.
somebody in here will do that. Remember the other day, I told y'all to do, I wrote it over here, and I said, 1, you got to, I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying somebody. I said, 1, move C, 2, factor out common term. Remember I said, somebody's going to flip it or get confused. And it always happens. Always. Always. So don't feel bad. It happens. And you have to pay attention to the order, and that's why it has to be consistent. And if you don't have a number here, then you leave that step out. But factor out a common term.
Okay.
But if you do have to factor out a common term, it comes before this.
Okay, now from this point, moving forward, that 7-6, it doesn't do anything.
Well, it's going to go away because you got to use shortcut number 1 here, and it's going to be x plus 7
Over
twelfths quantity squared.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just
So, 6 times x plus 7 twelfths quantity squared is equal to, well, 6 will go in there 1 time or 2 times, and that'll leave 24. So 24? 24 goes on the bottom, so 24. So that's 49 over 24, and that's plus the 24 times 10 is 240, it'd be 480 over 24. Y'all check me and take 480 and divide it by 24 and see if you don't get 20.
Yeah.
6 times x plus 7 over 12. Quantity squared is equal to 480 plus 50 is 530, so it'd be 529 over 24, and I believe 529 is a perfect square. Or is it 629? I can't remember. 7? No, I'm thinking out loud. All right, now at this point, you get your vertex. So 6 times x plus 7 over 12, quantity squared, is equal to 529 over 24. Somebody take the square root of 529, I swear. Or am I thinking 729? Okay, so it is 23. I thought it was a perfect square. So my vertex, my y-intercept is negative 20. Y-intercept is 0, negative 20. My vertex is negative 7 over 12, which is a half. And 529 over 24 would be negative. 529 over 24, that's going to be like 20. So there's your vertex. Now we can solve. So divide by 6 over 1. Divide by 6 over 1, you multiply by 1 over what? 6. So x plus 7 over 12, quantity squared, is equal to 6 times 2, that'd be 144 on the bottom. Somebody check me. 529 over 144. And that's real nice because we get 23 over what? So x plus 7 over 12 is equal to positive or negative 23 over 12. And x is equal to positive or negative 23 minus 7 over 12. And somebody tell me what 23 minus 7 is. Thing over 16. And 16 divided by 12 is 4/3. what's negative 23 minus 7? Negative 30 over 12, dang old 5 halves. Y'all check me. But you don't have to check yourself, just see if it lines up. So 0, negative 20 is down here. This is 1/2, and I think negative 20 be a little bit more than 20. So it's going to be right here. And then 5 halves is 4 thirds is 1 1/3. 1 1/3. And negative 5 halves is 1 2.5. So does it line up? Chances are it's right. But let's check here and see what they got. Now, fractions. Use integers or fractions. So I would type in 4 thirds, comma, 5 halves, negative 5 halves. Actually, which one would I type in first?
Negative 5 halves.
Because I read from left to right, and negative comes before positive. So, but I'm just going to type in a 3. Golly, they put the negative first. Wonder why. Just something y'all been doing for 18 years plus. Okay, y'all feel good about yourself? All right, so you need to start working on 5 or whatever chapter we're on. What chapter is this? 11.1 and 11.2 to go along with chapter 10.